Yes, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, everyone, for the statewide online lectures conducted by Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai Education Department, online education for English medium. Today, we are going to be studying science for class 9. The topic is current electricity, and the content that we are going to be studying today is resistors in parallel. Okay, this is the fifth class in the series, and we will continue with that. My name is Vishal Sudhir Chowdhury, and I am from Kurar Village MPS English Secondary School. Okay, now let us move on with the content. Now, before moving on to the content for today, we will just recall whatever we have studied in this chapter, right? So in the beginning of this chapter, we have studied about potential difference, right? We have studied how electricity always flows from a point of higher potential to a point of lower potential. Then it also seen the definition of potential difference between 2 points. It is the amount of work done to carry a unit positive charge from point A to point B, right? And its formula is V equals to W upon Q. Okay. Then we had also seen the concept of free electrons and how the charge carrying particles are the electrons in a metal or in any conductor. Okay. Then we had seen the concepts relating to how current flows through a wire, right? Okay, from a point of higher potential to a point of lower potential. And in a current carrying conductor, right, electrons are the charge carriers. Okay, then we had seen the concept of electric current. We had also defined electric current, right? So electric current is nothing but the flow of electrons through a conductor, right? It is given by the symbol I, and its mathematical equation is I equals to Q upon T, right? Where Q is the charge and T is the time. Then we had also defined the unit for electric current, that was your ampere, right? And 1 ampere being a charge of 1 coulomb per second. Okay. Then we had seen the concept of resistance and Ohm's law. We will be revising Ohm's law today because the concept of resistance in series as well as in parallel, right? Both use the concept of Ohm's law in quite detail, right? So we will be revising that. Okay. Then we saw the concept of electrical circuit, right? How electrical circuits are drawn, what are the conventions, how to show the direction of electric current and all we had seen in that case. Okay. After that, we saw the various symbols for components of an electrical circuit. In that, we saw how to represent a electric cell, a battery, then various types of keys, as in a tap key or a plug key, right, which is used to switch on or off your circuit. Then we had seen how to show the conducting wires, then the symbols for light bulbs, then resistances, and so on. Okay. Then we had seen the concept of conductors and insulators, right? What conductors are, what kind of materials they are made up of, right? So any substance that conducts electricity and which have very low resistance are called conductors, whereas insulators are substances which have extremely high resistance, right? And through which current cannot flow. They are called as insulators, right? And we had seen the various uses where and how they are applied. Okay, then we had seen some experimental proof for Ohm's law and some numericals, right? Then in the previous class, we saw the concept of resistors in series, right? How is the combination in which resistors are arranged in series? So when resistors are connected end on end in a straight line, they are said to be connected in a series, right? Then we saw the formula for effective resistance Rs equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 all the way up to n number of resistors, that is Rn. Okay, so in a resistance, in a series combination, the effective resistance of the circuit increases, right? Then the current flowing through the circuit is the same. Okay, the effective resistance of the resistors is equal to the sum of all the resistors, right? Then we had also discussed that the series combination is used to increase the effective resistance of a circuit, right? Then we had also seen how when resistors are connected in series, how the intensity of the glowing light increases or decreases depending upon the way in which they are connected, right? So let us move on today with our new concept, that is your resistors in parallel, right? But before that, let us just revise briefly what is Ohm's law. Okay, so the relationship between the current flowing through a wire I and the potential difference across its ends V is given by Ohm's law. Okay, it states that if a physical state of a conductor remains constant, the current flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference V between its two ends, right? Now here, the term physical state relates to the state of a conductor with respect to its length, then its area of cross section, then the temperature and the kind of material, right? So whatever Ohm's law you are applying to a given conductor, its area of cross section, then its length, temperature, and the material should not change during the experiment. Okay, so let us go into the mathematical expression. So according to our statement of Ohm's law, we can conveniently say that current I is directly proportional to the V voltage across the two ends of the conductor, right? Now, if we remove the proportionality sign, we will get I equals to K into V, where K is a constant of proportionality. Now, remember that whenever we replace the proportionality sign by an equal sign, there has to be a constant that needs to be put into the equation. So here, the constant happens to be K, right? Now, on rearranging the equation, if we take the K, the term K constant on the left-hand side, it will become what? I divided by K equals to V, or we can write I into 1 by K equals to V. We can write that 1 by K as a new constant that is called as R, which is the resistance of the conductor. Right? Now, resistance is the ability of a conductor to resist the flow of electrons or to resist the flow of current through it. Okay, so on rearranging, what we get, if you substitute the value of 1 by K by R, what we get? I into R equals to V, or V equals to IR, which is your Ohm's law. It can also be rearranged in other form as R equals to V by I, right? So depending upon the application, we will use these two equations of Ohm's law. Okay, now let us move into what resistors are. Okay, so a resistor is a two-ended component having a given amount of resistance between its two ends. So a resistor will have different values of resistances, 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 5 ohm, as per our requirement, right? Then the resistor is shown by that symbol with a zigzag line, right, on the circuit diagram. Okay, as you can see here, there are various types of resistors, right? So they are color coded depending upon their different resistances, right? So you will be learning those color codes in future standards. Okay, now let us move on. Okay, so a resistance, or in several electrical devices, a number of resistors are connected together in different ways. Now, depending upon the requirement, if you want to increase the resistance of a circuit, then you are going to add the resistors in a series combination, right? Likewise, if you want to decrease the effective resistance of a circuit, you are going to put it in a parallel combination, as we are going to learn today, right? So depending upon the requirement, so you will have those different circuit boards where different resistors of different values will be arranged, right? So you can have in the same circuit different resistors in series or different resistors in parallel. So in the same circuit, you can have both types of arrangements. Okay, so in your cell phone or mobile phone circuit boards inside, or in the computers, right, there are those various components which are used over there. Okay, now there are two methods to connect the resistors in a circuit, right? Out of those two, we have already discussed one, that is resistors in series, and the other one being resistors in parallel, right? So today we are going to be going into detail about how resistors in parallel work in a circuit, right? And how Ohm's law will apply to the individual cases. Okay, so let us imagine a circuit, right? So let us imagine and analyze this circuit where you have different kinds of components, right? So at the bottom, you have E, which is your power supply. Then you have K, which is your plug key. Then you have the A ammeter, right? Then as you go across towards the top, you have those 2 points, which are X and Y, right? Now, between those 2 points, you can see those resistors R1, R2, and R3, right? Now, you can see here that the resistors are connected in such a way that their two ends of the resistors are common. Means the resistors R1, R2, and R3, all the three of them, the two ends of all of those three resistors are connected on a common point. That is point X, means the left side, the left end of all the three resistors R1, R2, and R3 are connected to point X, and the right end, the other end of all the three resistors are connected to point Y, right? So in a parallel combination, all the resistors are connected in such a manner that both their ends meet at a common point, right? So whenever you have such an arrangement where you have more than one resistor, and if both their ends converge or meet on a single point, such an arrangement is said to be a parallel arrangement, right? In case of series arrangement, where we had seen the resistors are connected end on end, one after the other, right? But in case of parallel combination, you can see they are arranged one above the other or one below the other. Okay, but you need to remember that the two ends of all of the resistors in parallel combination meet into two different points, which are common to all of the resistors which are connected, right? Now, you can see that in front of resistor R1, you can see there is an ammeter connected separately. Same way for resistor R2 and for R3, we have those separate ammeters connected to measure the current flowing, right? Then you have one voltmeter which is connected across the points X and Y, right? Which is going to help us to measure the voltage across the 2 points, right? Then you can see the current flowing through the circuit, right? Which is measured by the ammeter right at the bottom alongside the key. It is shown by current I, which is flowing through the circuit, right? Now, when the current flows from the battery through the key and the ammeter, it reaches point X. Now, at point X, you can see that the conductor gets divided into 3 sections, right? So that means the current also will get divided within those 3 sections, right? So current, when it flows from point X to point Y, it is divided into 3 distinct parts, okay? And all of these 3 currents can be measured by using the 3 ammeters, right? So you can see that current flowing through resistor R1 is measured as I1. Then current flowing through resistor R2 is measured as I2. And current flowing through resistor R3 is measured as I3, right? Then you can see that voltage across point X and Y is voltage V, which is measured by the voltmeter, right? Now let us go and discuss further the derivation for the parallel combination, right? Now, we can see that V is the potential difference between point X and Y. Now, as you can see, the voltmeter here in the center will measure the potential difference across point X and Y, right? Which is shown at the top in the red box as V. So that is a voltage potential difference, right? Further, let I be the current flowing through the circuit. Now, through the whole circuit, the current flowing is I, which is measured here at the bottom. The current flowing through the whole circuit is I, right? Which is conveniently shown across at different points where the arrows are indicating the direction of the current. Okay. Then point number 3. Now, as we have seen, the 3 resistors are connected in parallel, and from point X, from where you can see the 3 conductors get divided, and therefore the current also gets divided. Okay. So we can say that let I1, I2, and I3 be the currents flowing through the resistors R1, R2, and R3 respectively, right? So initially, the total current flowing through the circuit is what? I, right? Now, when at point X, the 3 conductors get divided, right? So the current also gets divided. So the total current flowing through the circuit can be written as I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3, right? Which is equation number 1, right? Now, if you remember, when we had seen for the series combination, we had taken the voltage, right? Voltage gets divided, right? So V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. In this case, in parallel combination, current gets divided. So you need to remember, in a series combination, voltage gets divided, V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. And in a parallel combination, current gets divided, I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3, right? Now further, let RP, P stands for parallel combination and R be the resistance. Let RP be the effective resistance between the points X and Y. Okay, so we have to measure the resistance across points X and Y. So if we apply Ohm's law, according to Ohm's law, I equals to V by RP, where V is the total voltage and RP is the total effective resistance in the parallel combination, and I is the total current flowing through. Let us assume that being equation number 2. Now, if we also apply Ohm's law for all the 3 resistors, right, what we will get? Current flowing through resistor R1, that will be I1 will be equal to V by R1, right? Because voltage remains constant across the across the 3 resistors, right? So I1 equals to V by R1. Then similarly, I2 equals to V by R2. And likewise, I3 equals to V by R3. Now let us assume this being equation number 3. Now, if we substitute the values from equation number 2 and equation number 3 in the above equation number 1, what do we get? Let us see. So substituting values of equation 2 and 3 in equation 1, we get V by Rp equals to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3, right? Hence, so if you can see, right, if you can rearrange the equation becomes what? V by Rp equals to V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. If we take V common, then V and V from the left hand side and the right hand side will get cancelled off. So what we are left with is 1 by Rp equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, right? That means what? Inverse of resistance in the parallel combination equals to inverse of resistance 1 plus inverse of resistance 2 plus inverse of resistance 3, right? 1 by R3 is called inverse. Okay, further. So in this case, we have measured the resistance when 3 resistors are connected in a parallel combination. But if we have more number of resistors, 4, 5, 6, up to n number of them, what will we have? If n number of resistors are connected in parallel, then 1 by Rp equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 plus all the way up to 1 by Rn. So that means what? The inverse of the parallel resistance is the sum of the inverses of the resistances of all the individual resistors, right? So this is the expression for effective resistance when a number of resistors are connected in parallel. Let us go through it once again because it is very important, right? So you can see the circuit diagram first. You need to remember that the resistances which we have, R1, R2, and R3, should be connected in such a manner that both the opposite ends of all the resistors should attach to a common point. In this case, the common points are X and Y. Now, the voltage across the points X and Y will remain constant. Okay, then we have separate ammeters which measure the current flowing through the circuit. We have separate ammeters for all the 3 resistors R1, R2, and R3, right, which will measure the respective current flowing through them as I1, I2, and I3. Okay, okay, and the total current flowing through the circuit is measured as I. Fine. Then, so if we say V is the potential difference between point X and Y, and let I be the current flowing through the circuit, that is the total current flowing through the circuit. Okay, then as we have measured, I1, I2, and I3 will be the currents flowing through the resistors R1, R2, and R3 respectively, right? So the total current flowing through the circuit will be I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3, right? Now further, let us assume that Rp, right, be the effective resistance between the points X and Y when all the 3 resistors are in a parallel combination. So then according to Ohm's law, what will we have? I equals to V by Rp, which is equation 2. Now equation 2 will give you the current value for the whole circuit. Okay, and the resistance Rp for the parallel combination. If we apply Ohm's law for the individual resistors R1, R2, and R3, what do we get? I1 for the first resistor, I1 will be equal to V by R1. Likewise, I2 for the second resistor will be V by R2. I3 means current flowing through the third resistor will be V by R3. If we substitute now the equations 2 and 3 in equations 1, what do we get? V by Rp equals to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3. Therefore, cancelling V from both the sides, what do we get? 1 by Rp equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, right? So if there are n number of resistors, it will go all the way up to n number of resistors, right? So this is the expression for effective resistance when number of resistors are connected in parallel, right? Now let us further see the characteristics of the circuit when the resistors are connected in parallel, right? So let us see what things happen when resistors are connected in parallel. So if resistors are connected in parallel, then first point, the inverse of the effective resistance is equal to the sum of the inverses of the individual resistance. Now, inverse means 1 by anything is called as an inverse, right? So 1 by Rp will be what? Inverse of effective resistance. As you can see in the equation below, 1 by Rp is what? Inverse of the effective resistance, right? What does the point say? The inverse of effective resistance is equal to the sum of the inverses. Means we have to add up the inverse resistances of all the individual resistors, right? So you can see inverse of the effective resistance, that is 1 by Rp, is equal to sum of, means the addition of all of the inverses of all the individual resistors, that is 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by R3, 1 by R4, all the way up to 1 by Rn. So you have to add up all their values, inverse values. Okay. Point number 2. The current flowing through an individual resistor is proportional to the inverse of its resistance, and the total current flowing through the circuit is sum of the currents flowing through individual resistor. We have seen already this point. I, the current flowing I, is directly proportional to inverse. So you can see from equation number 2, right? We can write I is directly proportional to 1 by Rp. If we take voltage as constant, if you imagine equation number 2, I equals to V by Rp. Now, you can see that in a parallel combination, the voltage remains constant. So if you substitute voltage being constant, I can write I is directly proportional to 1 by Rp. That means current flowing is directly proportional to inverse of the total resistance, right? And the total current flowing through the circuit is the sum of the individual individual currents flowing through all the resistors, that is I1 plus I2 plus I3, right? Then point number 3, the potential difference across all the resistors is the same. Yes, that is why we had said voltage remains constant. So you need to remember that in a parallel combination, voltage remains constant and current changes. In a series combination, current changes, but current remains constant and voltage changes in a series combination, right? So these are the things that you need to remember with respect to a series combination and a parallel combination, right? Then the next point, the effective resistance of resistors connected in parallel is less than the least resistance of the individual resistor. Now this point we'll discuss with a numerical, right? That means what? The resistors means R1, R2 and R3, right? The total resistance Rp will be less than the least of the ones R1, R2 and R3. That means, say for example, if we have a resistance R1 as 1 ohm, resistance R2 as 2 ohms, and resistor R3 is 3 ohms, right? So you can see there is the three resistances 1 ohm, 2 ohm and 3 ohms. The total effective resistance Rp will be lesser than the least resistance. So in out of the three, the resistor having the least value is 1 ohm, right? So the total resistance will be lesser than 1 ohm. You can see that with a numerical, right? We will discuss that further. Okay. Then next point. This arrangement is used to reduce the resistance in a circuit. Yes. If you wish to reduce the resistance in any circuit, and if a parallel combination, if you put any resistor in a parallel combination, the total resistance of the overall circuit will decrease, right? So that is an important concept. And let us further assume. Now, if you have a circuit, right, with several resistors connected in a parallel combination. Now, in this case, in our circuit here, you can see that there are 3 light bulbs connected in a parallel combination, right? So what does it say? Even if any one of the several bulbs connected in parallel becomes non-functional because of some damage to its filament, the circuit does not break as the current flows through the other parts and the rest of the bulbs light up. Now, if you can observe this diagram here, now there are those 3 bulbs, right, which we have used in our circuit. Okay, now let us say that the bulb in the middle has become faulty. Say its filament has broken down. So if its filament is broken, the current will not be able to flow through this, the bulb in the middle, right? So instead, what will happen? The current have alternate paths. So that means what? The current will flow through the top bulb as well as the bottom bulb. And these bulbs will continue glowing, right? Only the part of the circuit connected in parallel, which is faulty, will be switched off automatically. But in case of a series combination, even if a single component or a single bulb is faulty, the whole circuit will stop, right? So this is one of the advantages of a resistor connected in parallel, right? So this kind of arrangement we have at our household, in our household electrical supply, right? So in our houses, we have all the appliances, that is the fans, lights, tube lights, TVs, all the appliances are connected in a parallel combination. So that what happens, even if one of the equipment is switched off, the others can keep on working, right? Now let us move on further. Resistors in parallel, right? So when several bulbs are connected in parallel, they emit the same amount of light as when they are connected individually, right? While bulbs connected in series emit light which is less than when connected individually. Now you can see here, there are three examples. On the left hand side, you have a single bulb which is connected normally individually. So you have the maximum potential or maximum light coming out of the bulb. In the second case, you have three light bulbs which are connected in a parallel combination. Now, you can see all the three bulbs are glowing with the same intensity. It is because the voltage across all of those three, means the potential difference, that is the voltage across all the three bulbs is constant. So all of them get the same potential difference, but the current gets divided. But in the third case, which is a series combination, in that case, what happens is, as the connection is in series, the voltage goes on dropping. And what happens is the current flowing is the same. So what happens is the current drops because of increase in resistance, right? And the intensity with which the bulbs glow will decrease. Okay, so these are the advantages of a parallel combination. So in a parallel combination, all the three bulbs will get the same potential difference, right? Okay. Then let us observe this numerical, which will help you to understand how the effective resistance in a circuit decreases in a parallel combination. Now let us see that we have resistors having resistances 15 ohms, 20 ohms, and 10 ohms, which are connected in parallel. Okay, so we have those three resistors, which are R1 having 15 ohm resistance, R2 having 20 ohms resistance, and R3 having 10 ohms resistance, and they are connected in parallel. What is the effective resistance in the circuit, right? So we'll first of all write the given. So given being R1 is 15 ohms, R2 is 20 ohms, and R3 is 10 ohms. We have to calculate the value of RP, right? So let us first write down the formula for parallel combination. So 1 by RP equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. If you substitute the values of R1, R2, and R3, what we get is 1 by RP equals to 1 by 15 plus 1 by 20 plus 1 by 10, right? Now, if we take the least common multiple, LCM of all the three figures, what we get is 60. And the LCM values being 4, 3, and 6. So what we do is 4 plus 3 plus 6 divided by 60. That comes down to 13 upon 60, right? So 1 by RP is equal to 13 upon 60. So if we rearrange that equation, we get RP equals to 60 upon 13. The value comes down to be 4.615 ohms, right? So therefore, the effective resistance in the circuit is 4.615 ohms, which is less than the least of the three. Now, if you go into the given content, the three resistors have values of 15 ohms, 20 ohms, and 10 ohms, right? So out of the three, which is the resistor having the least resistance? That is R3 having 10 ohms, right? But the overall resistance in a parallel combination that we have calculated comes down to be 4.615, right? So this proves that the effective resistance of a circuit will decrease if you go on adding resistors in parallel combination, right? So this is the most important aspect of a parallel combination, right? Now let us go through this once again and just revise what is a resistor in parallel, right? So in a parallel combination, again, you need to remember that you have to connect the three resistors in such a way, or whatever number of resistors, in such a way that the two ends are connected to a common point, right? So in this case, the common points are X and Y. Okay. Okay. Then the voltage across points X and Y remains constant, which is V. The total current flowing through the circuit is I, right? Then the current flowing through resistor R1 is measured through a separate ammeter given as I1. Likewise, the currents flowing through the resistors R2 and R3 are also measured by separate ammeters as I2 and I3, right? Then Substituting all of this and going through the derivation, we know that the total current flowing I is the sum of the currents flowing through the individual resistor, that is I1 plus I2 plus I3, right? Applying Ohm's law to the individual resistors and to the total circuit, we get I is equal to V by RP, I1 is equal to V by R1, I2 is equal to V by R2, and R3 is equal to V by R3. Substituting this and calculating, we get the total resistance 1 by Rp is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, all the way up to 1 by Rn if you have n number of resistors, right? Now let us try to understand the whole concept by looking at a video, right? So please listen and try to understand.
Hello, sir.
So we will discuss the numericals from all the way in the beginning, that is voltage, that is potential difference, then current. Then we'll also solve numericals for Ohm's law. Then we'll also solve numericals for resistor in series combination and resistors in parallel combination, right? So please be there for the next class, as it is going to be very important and we are going to be discussing all the numericals from the whole chapter, right? Okay, sir, you can end the class, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, students.